Hello, hello to all of you loved ones, and welcome to Love Marlene 411. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's podcast episode. I hope my volume is good. Hope you guys can hear me. I got a new device, so I think the volume is good today. Of course, always let me know in the comment section. Happy Thursday, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sip and Chat, where me and my co-host Miss Nexty, we sip and we chat about important topics about traumas and healing and personal growth and development, and just real conversations about things that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but me and my wonderful co host, Miss Nexie, do that. So, welcome to this week's episode, and we have Miss Nexie here. Let's welcome her to the Sip and Chat.
Hello, Miss Marlene.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I think I'm good.
You
No, I'm
sick?
doing great. Thank you for asking. Well, I'm home alone. Kiddo is camping with dad. So, yeah, I'm doing good.
Oh, nice. So,
That's why it's
Miss,
nice and quiet. Notice that? Very
yeah,
nice and quiet.
I was like, I was listening. See, I was listening for some sort of animals. I was listening for either a lion, a seal, a wolf. Well,
No, but this is it though. It's a sea lion. Okay, it's not a sea lion. It's a sea
Oh,
lion. So
oh, okay. So, Miss Nexie, welcome to the Sip and Chat. What are you sipping on today?
you're not gonna be surprised. It's my usual coffee and water. I got some water on the side. I got a nice warm cup of coffee that I just freshly made for this. And what else do I have? Oh, that's pretty much it. I think I ate all of my other snacks. So that's all I have for now. What about you, Miss Marlene?
Okay. Before I tell you what I'm sipping on, I have to welcome. I have Retirement Days is in here. Hi, Miss Betty. And we have Ranger 92308, who has been a member for 4 months. Welcome, Mike. Appreciate you all being here.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Miss Betty.
Yes, awesome. Oh, and Team Ranger, a member for 5 months. So thank you so much, Ranger, for your
Oh,
support.
wow.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, wow, was right. Awesome. Thank you so much. So Miss Nexie, what am I sipping on? Where do I even start? I have if I had my camera on, you would see that I have a medley of things. I got a little bit of ice water. I have a little bit of my leftover smoothie, and I have a little bit of pineapple juice because I'm kind of battling. I don't know what's going on. Like my throat, I don't know if it's my throat, I'm getting a cold, or it's allergies, or both, or it's just I'm getting old.
You know, I, cut it up. No, no, we don't use that word here. That's a bad word. Bad girl. Bad girl.
Oh, bad, bad, bad
We
girl.
don't use the OLD. OLD, no. I will probably aim more towards an allergy because a lot of people are because the weather is so crazy. It's windy one hour, it's super hot the next, and we're so I will, if I was you, will think more like a bad case of an allergy or something. of allergies. Because that's how I am too. Like right now, I'm like so stuffed. My nose feels like, and I already took my allergy meds, but I forgot them last night, so I had to take it like probably like 30 minutes ago. So I'm still like so congested.
Oh, I think it's everybody. Oh, and you know, this is not a sponsorship or anything, but we're about to be in hurricane season. Hurricane season, I believe it started or it's about to start. So, I like to talk about very informational things. So, whoever is in the path of hurricanes, please make sure you're getting your supplies for yourself and your family before it gets to be like you have to be running and be with everybody trying to grab anything that you can find. So, planning and preparation. I just
Oh
wanted to say
yeah,
that.
in your neck of the woods. I forgot. I
Mhm.
forgot in your neck of the woods you guys have all those hurricanes.
Yes.
Oof. Glad I don't live there.
What? Yeah, so it's all of
What?
those
Did
things.
I say something? Did I say something?
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, you didn't say anything. You're fine. So, Miss Nexie, let's get started with
So what? So what are you drinking?
I said a little bit. I'm
What are
having
you
a little
drinking
pineapple.
first? The
Well,
pineapple.
no, no, no. I want to end
Okay.
with the pineapple juice because that's sweet. Because I really don't care for water, so I have to start with the water and then I have to chase it down with some sugar. Yep. That's what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
Yeah. I have to end with sweet. I can't start with sweet and end with refreshment. Like no, opposite.
Okay, let's get this started. Tell me, what are we talking about today?
Well, what did I say the title was? I don't even remember, but I said something like I wanted us to talk about the people who think that they can control us. People who think that they can control
Hmm.
everything about us. And first, we're going to start off by
Wait,
talking.
wait. The title is "What am I? What am I to them?" Is that the title?
Oh, yeah. What am I to them? So let's start off by saying that, Miss Nixie. Why do you think that people? What do you think when you have relationships with people? What do you think that people think when it comes to you? And then I'll go after you.
I feel that if we would have covered this topic probably 15-20 years ago, I would have said a whole lot more than what I'm about to say right now.
Hmm.
Because the previous me will allow people to walk all over me, meaning, can you do this for me? Can you take the kids to school for me? Can you pick them up? Can you get me some groceries? Can you, come help me? I'm painting a room and I want your help. And, so that Nexie, it's long gone. It's not, it doesn't, no longer lives here. But back then, this would have been a very, very important question that would have gotten me thinking and analyzing what I am to these people, my family members, some friends, or acquaintances, and some bosses, right? So now I had, and I think I've said this in your podcast before, is that I had a bad habit of not having the ability to say no. I was always, yes, of course. Yeah, let me think about it. And yes, I'll do it. Just let me see if I can move things around. I felt very uncomfortable using that word no. I can't. I won't. I don't want to. I was always like trying to be everybody's helper, right? everybody's person they can go to, like go to person. Yay. If you need something, call her. You know, if you need money, call her. So I was, back then, I think I was, I've said this before, a bank, a babysitter, probably a house sitter too, a grocery shopper, an ATM.
Yes. So, with you saying all of that, the same thing for me. I don't even think mine was many years ago. I think maybe 2 years ago, if you had talked to me, I would have said some of the same things. But in addition to that, if I'm honest with myself, back then I would have said I was a person who was easily controlled. Like I would know I didn't want to do something, but I had a problem speaking up for myself because I didn't want to rock the boat. And I'm looking like, well, everybody's doing that. So I don't want to be the only one to say no. So I would do things just because I didn't want to disturb other people instead of just being my own person. Or how many times I've showed up to things and felt so miserable, and like, when are we going to go home, when I should have just stayed home. So I think the person that I was back in the day was a person who didn't know how to say, I don't want to do that, or that's not good for me, or I can't afford certain things. Like, I used to feel bad because I didn't have the financial means. Like, I would go to things and it would be like my last bit of money, and I knew it was my last bit of money. Like, I'm using my light money, or my whatever bill money, car insurance money, for something, and then I would be without, trying to make other people happy, and I know I couldn't afford it. So I think back then, what I was to other people was somebody that didn't have their own mind.
Mm, I get it. Yes, and pretty much it was the same for me as well. That's who I was. I was that person that, couldn't say no. Like the person that was always trying to be in good standing with my family, you know, um, immediate and extended. I was that one person. But that was, like I said, many years ago, because as I started, getting to know me, who I really was, right? Not that person that always had to please everybody in the family. I started going through therapy and stuff like that, and I started to learn that it was okay not to be available for the things that they needed, even if I was available, because that's the difference, Marlene, right? When you don't have time or you can't because you're working, you easily say, I can't because I'm working, and they know that you're working. But when you just want to say, no, I don't want to, or no, I can't, or, no, I won't, and you're just at home doing nothing, that's like a powerful no for someone like
Mhm.
us,
Yes,
because I
exactly.
came
And
from
the
years
thing
of
about
saying, yes, of course.
and the thing about that, Miss Nexty, is
Hmm.
that I think many people, they struggle with that. Like, oh yeah, of course, like you said, if you're working or you have appointments or anything, but if you're just at home relaxing, or you just period don't want to do it. That used to be me many times, like them going to things that I'm not interested in, but I didn't have enough courage to say I don't like that. I'm not interested in that.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not. This is the thing, though, because of the type of families that we come from. The guilt that goes along with, I don't want to do that, with I can't, and letting that person down. Oh, never mind letting yourself down, because that doesn't count for them. What counts is that you're making them look bad by not being available at every event and everything that extended family and immediate family want to do, you're making your parents or your siblings or whatever or whoever lose face. So the guilt that comes, because they guilt you into that, like, I can't believe you said no. Oh my God, I felt so bad when so and so told me that you couldn't do it, and here you are doing nothing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and my
The
thing was,
guilt and the shame you feel.
right, the guilt and the shame, and
Go
the
on.
and I was saying to myself, like, why do you feel embarrassed because I can't show up? Like, what does I have to do with you? Every single person is their own entity. It's crazy. It shows how far and how deep the control goes with certain individuals, whether in our family or people outside of our extended family, that have such a hold on us until we learn to develop our own strength to stand up and say no, and to say no and not tell people why. Like you said, it's no, because I'm just going to be here with my feet up doing nothing because I don't want to do anything today. Um, and I know that I can say that to you and many others because you and I, for many years, we worked nights. So we know about
Mm-hmm.
that. Working nights is a completely different ball game than working in the daytime.
Yeah, it is, and because you get tired easily. You're under sleep, like you're under so much stress from the lack of sleep that you suffer, because even when we get home from work, we have kids, right? We have family that are waiting for us, counting on us to get them ready to do this, to do that. So we cannot really go like someone that doesn't have all of the attachments that you and I have can just go home, turn off all the lights, close the curtains, and go to bed and not be bothered. They can go to sleep. You and I can't do that. We don't have that luxury. So we're sleep deprived, right? People are making all these plans, including you in them, without even asking you. And because you come from a family who doesn't really support you on the she can't, even if they don't say it, at least say that's good, take your time, rest. Who cares about so and so? You have that type of family, you're so under so much stress, and like I said, lack of sleep, you literally feel like you're gonna have a nervous breakdown
Hmm.
from all of that.
Yeah, I will say that that's what it is that we've enabled them for so often too, because we have to think about our role, what we played in the situation, that yes, they can be that way, but I knew it wasn't until I learned to find my own inner voice that it was okay to stand up for myself, that showed that I loved myself. And when I didn't love myself, I only felt like my love had to come from how other people felt, how I showed up for them. And I felt like when I don't show up for them, that I don't love them. And that was the reason behind my guilt. And I learned that when I went through therapy, and that's very toxic. Your love
Mm-hmm.
for somebody should not be based on situations. Love is a pure thing, and you shouldn't have to do anything. People should love you just because you exist.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. But again, we go back to the family we came from, the environment, those bad habits our families have. Because I'm gonna step on some toes, I know, but it's those things that we feel like either we go along with everything and everybody, or we're the outcast. We're the weird one. We're the one that, oh my God, she's so weird. Or, oh my God, she never likes to do anything. Or, even though you've done 1,000 things for them, the one thing you don't do is the one that they throw to everybody in the family. They bring it on and on and on and on and on. So because we come from that type of, because with my kids, if they didn't want to do something, whether it was, their cousins, their aunties, whatever, invited them, they didn't want to go, I would say, don't go. It's okay, baby. You can say no. No problem. You can say no. It's okay. They had that support. I was not going to be shaming them or blaming them for not helping that one family member. But with what we come is different because, we're so used to everybody helping everybody. And the cycle continues, right? And those bad behaviors continue. And, the inability of them to see that, hey, maybe she's tired today. And you know what? Maybe let's consider her a little bit because she works nights. We have to understand that. That never happens until you bring it up and you put a stop to all of that abuse, because it is a form of abuse.
It is.
Until you put a stop to that, nobody else is going to do it for you. Now, for us, it's different because you and I, moving forward, we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen to our generation, our next generation. And hopefully they'll pick it up as well and pass it on to the following generation, because it's a generational thing. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. That it's like a generational thing. You bring it with, with the whole family from 50 generations ago.
Yes.
But for me, until like I said, when I started going through therapy, and the good thing for me is that I had the support of my husband. He was the one who would always tell me, why do you always say yes? Because I was the one, even with his family, I was the one always doing everything. He wasn't. He was like, no, I can't. No big deal. And I'll be like, oh my God, how can you not help your brother or your sister, or you know what I mean? Or your niece, your nephew, whatever. And I was always the one trying to make up for his lack of cooperation or collaboration. So he will tell me, why you do it? They're not going to appreciate anything. So why do you go out of your way for it? And I didn't understand. I thought he was so rude and selfish and everything. But as I started going through therapy, I started understanding what he used to tell me all the time, because he used to say, my time is money. And my time is precious. My time is money. And I was like, you only think about money. But if you think about it, if let's say your cousin asks you to come help her paint a room, if they will pay that money to a real painter, right? Or if you will get that money, it will be a good chunk of money that you will get from painting a room. But they don't pay you. And sometimes you go on.
And that's the thing, Miss Nexty, that why does certain individuals in our lives feel that everything that you do for them should be at no cost?
They're entitled.
Yeah, they're entitled. And especially if you have a certain trade, something you're good at, you could be a hairstylist, like a painter, like you said, or whatever. But they expect for you to give your services away to them for free all the time.
Yes. And how about those that can you do me a favor? Can you please pick up, a bag of diapers and a bag, and a can of formula for my baby. I don't have a car right now. And if you can please do me that huge favor, no problem. There goes $40. You get there and you chat. They offer you something to drink. And then, you're about to leave and you don't see that money coming your way. And then you give them the receipt and they're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Can I give it to you next time?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, you know what? One way before I completely was in recovery. My excuse always was, oh, they just changed my debit card, so I can't use my cards right now. And my sisters would be like, just tell them the truth. You don't want to do it, just say no. But I struggle so hard to say no because I didn't.
You were conditioned.
Yeah, I was conditioned, so I felt like I had to make up some sort of lie to make them feel good.
Exactly. We're always thinking about them. And I don't know how you felt, but I told you when I said my first no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. Oh my God. the anxiety, the stress, the emotions that I felt, having had to agree with something that I didn't want to. When I said no for the first time, no, I'm not. I'm lying. The first three times, I think is the third time is when I felt like, oh my God, this is awesome. Because the first one and second, I felt a little guilty. I was like, I could have done it. Why didn't I do it? I was available. Like, you know what I mean? But the third time, and I was like, oh, no consequences? Oh, cool. And my husband will say, see how easy that was?
Yeah.
I had that support, that little evil thing.
See, my thing, the same thing like you, Miss Nexie. I wasn't married at the time, but I had friends that were on that wavelength already. And when they would ask, I said, "No, she's busy," and I would be looking at them. I am. They'd be like, "Yes, you are." Actually, they're like, "Remember the plans we have?" And I'm looking like, "We don't." And there's like, "Girl, yes, we have plans. Bye."
And that's the thing, is that a lot of times, because you have been conditioned to always saying yes, and always you being, it's actually not even saying yes. What you've been conditioned on is not to let family down.
Mm, that's
You're
it.
conditioned to always making sure the family is taken care of. You cannot let anybody down because so and so helped me one time when you were little, right? I don't know if you
Uh-oh. What happened? Your mic, did your mic go out or my mic went out, Miss Nexie?
ever went to so and so. Oh my say, your auntie or uncle so and so. So you become conditioned to always having to help them, always finding yourself in situations that are none of your business, but you're there because that's the way you were brought up. That's what it's been hammering your head since you were little. And
Exactly.
saying no is so difficult.
Exactly. And I wanted to say, Miss Nexie, when I was thinking about this title, and we were talking about this a while ago, I was thinking, you know, when we're talking about this, a lot of times we don't realize that some people view us as servants.
Unpaid
Oh
servants.
yeah. Yep. And it's not just your children. You kind of, you expect that from children because, they're helpless and they depend on you when they're young. I don't mean the grown children. I mean the babies under 18 or those that have special needs that will always be children.
Hmm.
But it's the ones that feel you have to do everything for them, and not just in an hour or 2 hours right now.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, the title is perfect because when you think about it, that's when you start thinking, okay, what am I to them? What am I to her? Okay, an ATM. My fridge is an open restaurant or an open market.
or or
Um,
or a hotel.
a hotel. My wallet is, an open ATM card, So you start thinking about those things, and then you realize that all the things that you are to them, the least of them is somebody that they deeply care for, or that they are considerate to, or someone that they appreciate. When you start doing those lists, they start listing everything that you are to them. You never find those in there. Someone that they consider, someone that they love very much, someone that, they're there for every time that person needs me, someone that I consider one of my, my best allies or love. So you're not even there. All of their friends and extended friends and their beaux, whatever, or their girls, they're on that list, but you're not in it. And you're the one that they think the least of.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I think what they view you, you're just like, what is it called, the cleanup person, like the person who cleans up after, like you're there
Hmm.
to fix all their messes if they overspend or they fall short on their bills or they need a babysitter or they need someone to give them a ride. Whatever the situation is, you're that person, but you're not good enough to be there when they're having parties or they're having, oh no, you don't qualify for that. You're only here whenever it's appropriate for me. Whenever I feel like it, then I'll talk to you, and they don't talk to you at any other time.
And you know exactly. And then the funny thing is that you find out exactly who you are in their radar of people that they care for so much when you're sick, or when when you're in need of something important to you. That's when they show you exactly who you are, or what level of love, care, and loyalty they have for you. When you're sick, oh, you're sick. Oh, okay, I was gonna ask you for a ride, but I guess you're sick, right? Okay, then I'll talk to you later. Bye. And you're like, I just told you I'm sick. Like, not even let me go check on you. Let me go make you some soup. Let me see if I can bring you some soup if you don't want to make it. Let
Right.
me make sure you don't need any medication. Like nothing. It's just like,
Or
oh, I
or
needed something.
or even the courtesy of saying I'm sorry, feel
Yeah,
better.
yeah. No. Oh, you're sick. Oh, okay, then you know what? I guess you won't be able to. Okay, then let me call you later. Okay, bye. I'm gonna call so and so they can do me this favor.
Yeah.
And and you start realizing there that all you are to them is the help,
Hmm.
the cleaning lady, right?
Yep.
The ATM,
Uh-huh.
the
The Uber
picker
or
upper,
Lyft.
the Uber or Lyft, the picker upper, and we're not advertising any of those things.
Yeah.
We're just saying the ride in general. We're not gonna say
Yeah.
that.
Right. Oh, ride sharing services.
Ride sharing services, yeah. And when something is making them upset or uncomfortable, then you know what, let me call so and so.
Yeah.
Right, let me call her, see how she's doing, see if she can do this for me. I know she can. She always says yes.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's the whole thing is that you have to. I remember when I got that as an assignment from my therapist. I want you to ask 10 people that you know, what are you to them? And it was eye opening
Hmm.
when people were saying that, like, you're always there, you never say no, and I'm like, I was horrified. I was like, what? I was like, I
So
know I
I'm
can
your
call you at the
yes
last
woman, is that
minute.
what I
Yeah.
am?
Yeah, that's what they said. I know I don't have to tell you right away. I can call you at the last minute and you'll be there in a pinch. I was like, what?
Yep. Yeah, or I know I can borrow from you at any time, and you're not hunting me down to pay you back.
Hmm.
I know I can always call you, and or drop off the kids, and you will not say no. So that I appreciate that. So I'm a babysitter, and
Yep.
yet when your kids are graduating or having special parties,
Yep.
I don't get
Special occasion.
invited.
Yep.
I don't get invited
Hmm. Oh,
unless you want me to bring something.
no, you're invited. Like if you know the person who has the space that they want to have the party at. Oh yeah. Hey,
Or
can you call them? Can you do me a
if
favor?
they
Yeah.
want you to bring something because they don't have the money, they're short, and they want you to bring a dish, that's when you get invited. Or if they want you to bring the drinks, you know
Mhm.
what, yeah, we're gonna have, but can you get something, can you bring, like, we're asking everybody, it's like a potluck, but it's your kid's party, why is it a potluck?
Yeah. No, if it's your kid's party, why am I the one that has to be bringing things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's and then you see the pictures when they go places, and you're nowhere, you know nowhere to be seen in those pictures. you see everybody else that has rejected them, that says no, that doesn't help them, but your face is not in those pictures, and then you find out like 3 months later or the day after, and you see them on Facebook or on their social media, whatever, and you see that, oh, I wasn't invited to that, so why is so and so there and I wasn't?
Hmm.
Right? That's when you start seeing how important you are in their world.
Yeah, you sure do. And that's what I'm trying, and that's what I'm trying to say, is that we have to be honest with ourselves. And that's not the easiest thing, Nexi. As you know, it's not easy
No, it's not.
to admit to yourself that you're that we enable people, or that we don't say no, or we're not setting boundaries. But that's all the things that you need to ask. From time to time, I ask people, what what am I to you? And if they're saying things like valuable, important, encouraging, that's good things. But if they're telling you things that you always do for them, then that's not good.
Run.
Yeah.
Run away. Don't stick around. It, again, how about those, Marlene, that they only come to you when they break up with someone or they're having problems with their current boyfriend, and they come to you crying and you're always there for them, but the minute they get a new boyfriend, or a new someone, they don't even call you, they don't talk to you, they don't invite you out, they don't even let you meet them. You're
Mhm.
only there on their breakups. But if they have someone, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, no, you only hear from them if they want something, or things are not going good with them. If good things are happening to them and they're happy, you never hear anything from them.
Mm, yeah, again, it's, but I'm more focusing on those, cousins or those friends that if they don't have a boyfriend or a significant other, they don't even, they're always there with you, calling you, texting you, inviting you out. But the minute they get someone, they just toss you aside.
Oh yeah, I think I find it to be very convenient. They have all this time for you, and
Mm-hmm.
then once they get in a relationship, oh yeah, I know I've been wanting to call you, but I've been so busy. So
Mm-hmm.
you start to do the same thing. I haven't heard from you. I said, yeah, I've been so busy. They're like, you're in a relationship, and I'm like, no. Why do you have to be in a relationship to to be busy?
To ignore you. Why do I have to be in a relationship to ignore you? And you know, I am the type of person that observes when people do that to others as well. But recently, something happened. Like one of my best friends, right? And we've been best friends forever, and I will hear from her from time to time, and it was okay. We're working, or she's busy with her grandbabies or whatever. So it was okay. We will pick up where we left off. No big deal. But I started noticing that whenever like she got with someone and she wouldn't text me, she wouldn't call me. I will text her and she wouldn't answer until like 3, 4 days later, or whatever. And that went on for like 2 years, 2, 3 years. Well, recently, they have broken up. This person left her, and I started seeing all these texts. What are you doing? Are you busy? What's going on with you? I haven't heard from you in a while. And I started seeing text after text. I'm like, what the heck? And she's been texting me a lot, and at all at times, at all hours of the day, finding out how what I'm doing, if I want to go do something. And I'm like, what is going on? And eventually I asked her, I said, what's going on? So you're texting me a lot and it's kind of weird. And then she's like, oh yeah, well, we broke up, and I don't know, I just feel so lonely and so sad. And I'm like, okay, but what does that have to do with me? If I felt very uncomfortable, and I told her, I said, it's funny, we've been friends for so long, right? I understand we both have busy lives, but I always make time to, text you at least a couple of times a week to see how you're doing, whatever. And I said, but when you were with this person, you completely ignored me. Sometimes it will be weeks before you text me back. I said, but now that he's gone, you keep on texting me so much. I said, I'm not used to that anymore. So you're going to have to give me time to get there again.
Good. Good.
And, before I would have never said anything. I would have been like, oh, okay, no problem. Now I told her, I said, it feels weird that you're texting me all of a sudden and so much when you have ignored me for the past 3 years. So I go, just gonna have to give me time, to get adjusted to the fact that you're no longer with this person. So now you need me in your life. That's not true. That's not true. That's not what it is. It's just that blah, blah, blah. I said, no, that's exactly what it is. And you cannot deny it.
Yep. Now, I never have understood that no matter whether I'm in a relationship, I'm not in a relationship, I always make time for the people that I love. I don't get it. I think it's weird. The people that once they get in a relationship, it's all focused on the person they're in a relationship
Yeah.
with. I was like, that's weird. That's very unbalanced and toxic.
And again, it's and I see it, like I said, I notice it on me, of course, but I see it on others too. I see that, they're so attached to this best friend of them. And then when it comes to, having certain needs, they can never help you. But you're still stuck with that person. Like it's an extension of you. But if you need to go to an appointment, go to the hospital, do this, do that, they never have time for you because they're busy with their own family. That's not a friend. But how do you make people like that understand? You can't, right? They have to
Yeah.
come to their own conclusion.
No, how you teach them a lesson is you give them back the same energy. And I told somebody that I said, nope, I'm not available. You're not available. I said, nope. I said, why are you have so? I said, nope, because I match energy. Just like you don't have time for me, I don't have time for you either.
That is a good one. I'm going to do that from now on. But again, and the thing here is not, we're talking about people on, when they're in relationships and do this, but we get this from our elders too. You have that one, great auntie or great grandma or grandma that you're always doing everything for, and then their favorite is somebody else who never does anything for them. And they're always pushing you aside because so and so is here and that's their favorite, right? Even though they say they don't have favorites. But they're
Yeah.
always pushing you aside and they're only calling you every time they need to go to a doctor's appointment, they need to go to the supermarket, or they need for you to come do something for them, or they have a question with medication, or you know what I mean? Like, but that other person never does anything for them.
Yep. Yep, that's true. I think your mic went out, Miss
Never.
Nancy.
But
Okay.
the minute out to eat, they don't tell you they're going out to eat. They don't invite you over. They're always putting you last when it's for fun. Unless they need something, then you're first because nobody else wants to do it for them.
and that's the thing. Like, oh, and I said, oh, did you call? So, oh, I already called them, and I said, yeah, and then told you no, right? Yeah,
Guess what my answer is now?
yeah,
No.
yeah. And I said I told somebody that too. Like, I don't mind if you ask me for things from time to time, but I said, but I don't like always being the last option.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and the
Yep.
same thing. I'm going to do the same thing to you. I tell people that all the time. I match energy. If you are so busy that you don't have time for me, I'm going to be so busy that I don't have time for you.
Exactly. And I used to call someone all the time to see how she was doing, how how's the day going, and then all of a sudden, like, we're in the middle of a conversation. Oh, I gotta let you go because so and so's calling me. Okay, bye. And this person will hang up on me all the time. So I stopped calling. And then one day, this person asked me, like, why don't you call me? I've been wondering why you haven't, pick up the phone and call. I said, well, the phone goes both ways. You can pick it up too. Oh, yeah, I know, but you're the one that was always calling me and you haven't done it in a long time. I said, yeah, because every time I call you, if somebody else that is more important than me comes along, even though we're in the middle of a conversation, you hang up on me without a care in the world. And I'm tired of that. I don't care what you are in my life or who you are in my life.
Exactly.
You don't do that to someone. So what I'm doing now is that if you ever need anything, if I'm able to do it, I will try. If you want to call me to say hi, you can, but don't expect me to do the same because I've been going through this and putting up with this for a very long time. And I was giving you a pass because of the importance you had in my life. But right now, from this day forward, or from the last time that you hanged up on me after 20, 30,000 times of doing that, you don't have the same place of importance in my life. So sometimes you have to, and it's hard, Marlene. When you get to that point where you realize who you are or how important or how they value you in their life, when you see how little that is, it hurts.
It
It
does.
hurts a lot because you don't want to see that. You don't want to think like that, because it's nice to feel useful. It's nice to feel that somebody counts on you, that they can and that they do. But you don't think when you're going through all of this that they're abusing, you know
Because it
your
doesn't.
kindness.
Yeah, but the whole thing about it is that a lot of us don't understand that abuse does not have to be physical. I didn't understand that there's many forms of abuse, and one of the biggest forms of abuse is the verbal abuse. Those that just talk to us any type of way that they want to, and then on top of that, they're abusing you, and then they get upset when you call them out on it. And that is something that definitely that has to change. We have to change that. There's nobody that can
Yeah,
change that but us.
exactly. Nobody can do it but you, and that's the whole point, is that a lot of times we allow people to go too far. And because we don't put a stop to it, we in how can I put it, without any communication, without any agreement, we allow them to think that they can continuously do that and there will be no consequences. Nothing will happen. There's no problem. It's no big deal. It's just so and so. Because that's exactly how they refer to you. Oh, don't worry about it. That's just so and so. So go on. And it's like, okay, it's just so and so who dropped you off and is going to pick you up later. And you're not giving her not even a $5 for gas,
Hmm.
but it's just that person. So I feel that, a lot of times your silence is what allows them to continue with that behavior.
Yep. And that's one of the most powerful things that you can ever do is when somebody is doing something disrespectful and you give them back. Like I said, you match their energy, or you even just tell people like how you feel. Why don't you call me anymore? Because I think you're rude. Just tell them. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you're rude. What? Well, yeah, because when I'm talking to you, like you said, you'll be talking to them, and I don't know if it's happened to you, Miss Nexie. It may not be that they come off the phone, but they're talking to everybody in their house. Oh, like you're talking to them, and the next thing, oh no, I don't want that, and you're like, huh? I was, oh,
Yeah.
I was talking to my son, and it keeps happening constantly. Not like, of course you're at home, so things are going to happen and people will come in. But I mean, it's constantly like every 15, 20 seconds, they're talking to somebody else and talking to somebody
You're
else.
having an entire conversation, right? You're going on, and they're like, yeah, no, just put it over there. Yeah, it's just where you left it the last time. Yeah, no big deal. You're like, what do you mean no big deal? I haven't said anything. Yeah, no, just do it over. And they're talking, they're having an entire conversation, and you're on the phone with them. So my sister has that tendency of doing that. So what I do when she starts doing that, I hang up on her, and then she'll call me back. I think.
Uh-oh, your mic went out again. But I think that is something important that we have to call people out on that. When they do things like that, we need to tell them how they're making us feel. Uh, I think Miss Nexie's mic went out completely. I don't know if she's gone or if she's still here. But we definitely need to let people know how that how that makes us feel.
Can you hear me now, Miss Marley?
Oh yeah, I hear you now.
I'm so sorry. The internet is acting up. Oh, it's so crazy. No, but like I said, I'm sorry. I know you probably didn't hear me, but my sister had bad those bad manners, because that's having bad manners. So I was on the phone with her. I was talking to her about something important, and then all of a sudden she'll be having this new conversation with so and so, or talking to blah blah blah, and I'll be like, what do you mean when I did that? And then she will continue on, so I will hang up, and then she will call me back and say, oh, I think we got disconnected. And I told her straight out, no, I hanged up on you because you're constantly doing that to me, and I'm tired of it. So my sister's like, what? You hanged up on me? I said, yeah. I said, when you're talking to me, you're talking to me. If you can't, then you tell me, Nixie, hold on, give me just 1 second. I said, put it on mute or whatever, and talk to that person, do whatever, and then come back to me. I said, it's very rude. I said, you wouldn't like it if I did that to you. She's like, oh, well, it's because so and so was talking to me. I said, no, it's not the first time, and you do it, and you're constantly doing this. She's like, I'm sorry, sis. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So guess what? She doesn't do it anymore.
Yep. They stop when you call them out on it. And I think that a lot of times we don't call people out because we think that they won't change. But how can people change if you don't tell them what they're doing is wrong?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. But how can you have an entire conversation with someone when you have somebody else on the line? It's like, it's so weird. Like, I can never do that. It's so rude and disrespectful. I mean, I think. Oh, did I lose you, Miss Marlene?
Oh, you know what? I was talking away. I was on mute.
And I cannot see the mic here, so I'm like, did I
Oh,
lose
let
her?
me take that off so you can see it when the when it's moving. But I was saying, I don't even know what I was saying, but I know that one of the things that is so important is that we have to we have to train people how to treat us. And for
Mm-hmm.
many of us, we may not have a good example. Maybe people around us or relatives did that to us, but it's different when you become an adult. Now you cannot blame whatever happened how many years ago. Now you're an adult. If you don't have the tools, you need to learn how to grow up and mature and do the right thing. And I see Journey with Kiki in the house. Hey, Kiki, how are you doing? Welcome.
Miss Marlene.
I'm here.
Oh, I couldn't hear. Like,
You didn't hear me?
no, no, no.
Oh,
It went, mute all of the sudden.
oh,
I
okay.
don't know if it's my internet or yours.
I don't know.
Hello, Journey. I didn't see that. I
Oh,
didn't say
it's okay.
hello to Journey.
Yes, I was just saying that we have to be the ones to show people. We have to train people how to treat us, and a lot of times there's a lot of things that we don't like that people do between your relative, significant other, your spouse, on the job. And if you constantly allow them to do things and you don't speak up, and then one day you have like this blowout, they don't understand. They feel like you just had an anger outburst, and it's like, well, you've never said anything before. So before things come to this point of no control, before you like explode like a volcano, the best thing that you can ever do is to say, can I talk to you for a minute, and let them know, like, I don't know if you are aware, but when you do this and this is how it makes me feel. Oh, well, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't aware. I was like, I'm sorry, I'll try to work on that. But if you don't tell people what you're dealing with and how what they're doing affects you, they will continue. And I'm not
And
saying that that's going to cause people to change, because some people don't care, but they can never say you didn't tell them. So that will be the reason when they get cut off, they'll
or,
know because you told them.
or they will know where you stand with them, because this is the thing. A lot of times we don't tell them because we don't want people to feel bad. We don't want people to not like us or whatever. But if you don't teach them, or if you don't educate them actually on the way that you want to be treated, they continue to do whatever they want with you, and you will never have a good relationship, because you're going to start resenting them. You're going to start like building that resentment towards the people that are doing these things to you. Now, for me, I like to bring it up to whoever, let's say, I family member or friend or foe. I let them know exactly who I am and what I expect from them, from the friendship, or the relationship as family that we are, because I I want them to know how I want to be respected, how I want to be treated. A lot of times, Marlene, because we are family, right? We're so-called family. We allow them to disrespect us in ways that we will never allow anybody else to do it. But because of that family, and I'm doing quotations like if you can see me, but because they are family to us, we, we don't put a stop to it. We continuously allow these people to disrespect us. And I feel that in a family, it's like you have to treat it like a company, like a job, like a workplace. The same respect you expect to get at your workplace, because you behave in a certain way, because that's who you are when you go to work. I feel, and I do this with my family, it's the same respect I expect from them. Don't
Exactly.
confuse kindness with weakness. It's not it. If I'm kind to you, it's because I like you. I'm not weak, I'm just kind. And so I respect you, and I expect the same back in return. The fact that we're family, because you're my family, I do not allow you to cross that line. I will put a stop right away to whatever it is, to any shenanigans that are going on, because I don't like that. I don't disrespect people, so I don't expect you to disrespect me in any way. We can have quarrels, we all do, right? Misunderstandings, we all do. Sometimes we say the wrong thing, or we do something that, we shouldn't. But what we got to understand is that people will go as far as you allow them to. People
Exactly.
will respect you as much as you ask them to, because they won't do it on their own, right? You have to put that, those rules. This is how I am with you, and that's what I expect from you back in return. A lot of times, like I said, because they're family members or because they're elders, right? We allow them to, and it shouldn't be the case. Like, my life doesn't work like that. I respect people and I expect the same back in return. And if that is not reciprocated, then you're no longer a friend or an acquaintance, or you're a distant family member to me.
Yes, exactly. And I wanted to highlight this comment from Journey with Kiki. Says, yes, yes, they will. That is not even your own personal relationship. Like sometimes they'll people will get offended because you take care of yourself so well. That annoys me. Like, oh, you got your hair done. Oh, you did your nails. Oh, you took time. You're going on a vacation by yourself. Anytime that I think what they're thinking, because you went and did your hair or your nails or you did whatever, took care of your teeth, whatever the case may be, bought a car, a purse, whatever it is that you like to buy. They're thinking in dollar signs. Oh, that's less money that I get to get.
For me, again, when I go to somebody's, home, when I get invited somewhere, I always like to bring a little something, right? Because, I don't know. I just like it. I just like to. So I bring a little something. What I don't like is when you invite me over, you call me, and then you say, hey, can you bring this and this and that?
Oh, that's annoying. It's so
Exactly. So
annoying.
I say, you know what? Something just came up. What is it? You just asked me to bring something, so I can't go. And I
Yeah.
say that too. And I say that because you're not inviting me because you want my company. You invite me so I can bring something for you.
Yes. And I believe 100% that's what it is, Miss Nexty, because they will only ask you because, oh, and I've had people that have said that. Oh, I always invite you to my parties because I know you're going to bring top shelf liquor. Excuse me? I was like, excuse me? I was like, okay, from now on, I'm gonna go to Walmart and get you the what is it? What's the Walmart brand? I'm gonna get Great Value wine.
Oh my God. But again, it's something that you have to teach people the way you want to be treated. And not to cross certain lines, because I think that a lot of times, like you said, we allow things to happen. We allow people to go too far, right? The title is perfect. What am I to them? But then it should be more like, what have I allowed them?
Mm-hmm.
What have I
Exactly.
allowed for them to use me the way they do? And I have had less headaches, less stress, more money, less time wasted, more time for the things I want to do, since I have not allowed people to take and control what I do and what I don't do.
And you know what I think? When once you start to know who you are, like I'll tell you something. When I started off in this relationship, and it was right before I started therapy. And then when I started going to therapy, I started to look at the person that I was in this relationship with like, I'm seeing all of the red flags of the things that I should be running from, but I didn't have enough courage and strength to leave the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, instead of it shows how toxic I was at the time. Instead of just having the courage to say, I think we should break up, I did things so that they would want to break up with me.
Mm.
Like, oh, it's like, okay, I'll call them in about 3 weeks. And like they would not leave. I was like, "What's wrong with you? Why won't you just leave me?" Like my friends, like, "You're just too good today. Stop being so good." They're not going nowhere. So we have to learn that some things that we are putting out there, and we're doing all of these.
And again, it's the, but I'm sure it's no longer like that, right? Now you can
Oh
actually say
no,
it. You can
oh
say
no,
like,
that ended. That all of that ended. But what I wanted to get to the point of is that a lot of times we aren't doing the things that we need to do. We get upset because people are showing up to us in a negative light, and they're
mm-hmm.
talking to us any type of way, or they're not being supportive, or whatever it is. They're just toxic in general. But you're the one that constantly talks to them and tells them your business and gives them money and rides and all of these things. Now, what person in their right mind was going to cut that off, to to leave you? They're going
To
to
say
stick
no to
around.
that.
You're their pusher.
Yeah.
So
Or when somebody wants something and they're like, oh, I can't, hey, just call so and so, she'll do it for you. They're promoting your weaknesses.
yes, that's what I'm saying. That's
You know,
that's crazy.
the evaluation, and I know that it takes a lot for us. It has taken actually a lot for you and I to be where we're at today. It has taken a lot of therapy. It has taken a lot of heartache, a lot of tears, a lot of money for therapy. But getting to where you and I are now is
Mhm.
money worth paying for, because you know who you are. You know your limits, you know your boundaries. You develop the real you, because this is what I say all the time. This is the real me. That person from the past, from before, it was someone that wasn't, all there, wasn't grown yet. It wasn't confident. It wasn't someone that, could put a stop to people, who allow people to take advantage of her kindness.
But you know what I think that is, Miss Nexie? I feel that that's the unhealed you.
Yeah, that was the unhealed me. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. That was the unhealed me. But that's the thing, though. We're constantly healing. We're constantly growing. We're constantly discovering the likes and dislikes for us as we go on this journey. But it has taken a very long time to have the confidence that you and I have now. We have learned that we can count with us only, and probably a handful of people in our life truly count on. But it's worth it, is what I'm saying, because when you start putting people in their rightful place, your life becomes more peaceful. You become, wealthier because you have a lot more
Yes.
money.
You have a lot more money, and you also have a lot of more peace of mind.
Yes, you become more peaceful. You become more um grounded. You become more confident. You become, there's a lot of things that happen when you get to the point to where you're voicing your likes and dislikes, and you're voicing them with confidence, because you don't have that little voice telling you, oh, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you're acting this way. What a shameful person. These are family members, you know what I mean? Or these are my friends from blah, 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 blah. You don't have those voices in you anymore. Because even if they're there, you don't hear them because you're healed.
Hmm. No, and you don't have the resentment and the anger that we can't stop what happened to us or what we did when we were in that space, in that energy and vibration. We can't do anything about that part, but what we can do is shift how we choose to look at it. Before I would look at my past and with anger and resentment and the guilt and all of these things. But now I look at it as, what could I learn from it? How did I grow? Because I don't believe that we make mistakes. I just think that we're always learning a lesson. And some
Mm-hmm.
lessons are harder ones to learn, but you still learn something if you have enough courage to look at it that way.
Exactly. And again, you are never going to please everybody in the world and every member of your family. You're never going to please them at 100%. The only way you please them at 100% is if you continuously give in to their demands. You continuously giving them money. You're continuously enabling them to continue to use you. That's the only time and only way that you're gonna be able to please, and they're gonna be so happy that you're in their lives. Other than that, when you start putting a stop to their bad behavior, you notice how many family members we lose, how many friends, so-called friends, we lose when we stop, giving them or giving in to their demands. But
Yeah,
for a peace of mind, you have to do that.
but for real, but honestly, but is it a loss though? Not really.
Not really. It's a gain, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I failed to understand in the beginning when my therapist was trying to tell me, well, think it in a different way, because I guess he couldn't tell me, right? You're not going to lose anything, you're going to gain. He couldn't say that. I had to be the one to discover that part.
Hmm.
And that's the thing, is that ever since then, I know what I like, I know what I want, I know who I am.
You had to,
Someone. And
it takes time for you to come into your own.
oh yeah, very much so. A lot of time it's not something that you do overnight.
And the thing about it is that a lot of people will not be patient with you when you're in your season of your personal growth, but they'll want you to be patient with them when they mess up.
Of course, yeah. And that's the thing, though. It takes them longer to get the picture that you're done, enabling them. It takes them a lot longer than it takes you once you realize, I'm done. I'm no longer doing that. You stop in your tracks and you say, that's it, I'm done. And it takes them a very long time to understand that you're not that person anymore. But that question that you post, like our title today, what am I to them? That's something that we should ask often of those around us. It's not a question that we should just ask once in a while. I think it's something that we should be very aware of. Take a couple of steps back and say, hey, what am I to this? Who am I to these people? What am I to them? What am I? Am I important? Are they just taking advantage? And I think that it's going to be one of the hardest things probably that you're going to do, because a lot of it's going to come out of it. But I think it's one of the best things that you can do for you.
It is. It's one of the best. It's, Miss Nexie, you're so right. It's one of the best things that you can ever do to yourself. Like, I remember when I had that, like, I allowed that veil to drop from my eyes and stop looking through this life with rose colored glasses. When people are showing you who they are, for me to finally believe it, like, you're using me. You're wasting your time. You will never do this or that. You will never grow up. You will never respect me. And until you come to terms with that, you will continuously allow people to do anything to you and for you to be their doormat.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody should be male or female. This is a channel on talking about, building a positive self esteem and keeping it that way. You can't feel good about yourself if you never do good things for yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. And allowing others to take us for granted is a form of self abuse, I think. You know what I
It
mean?
is. It is.
So we have to be very careful on because I always tell my kids, I have always told them this, is that family is something you cannot pick. It's just given to you. Friends, those are the ones that you can choose, and choose and pick wisely. If you surround yourself with positive people, encouraging people, people that are gonna cheer you on, no matter how crazy the idea you have on is, they're gonna be there for you whether you succeed or fall.
Yeah.
People like that is what you need to have a good life. I think that negative people that bring you down, people that are constantly looking for, the worst in you rather than the best in you, those people are not, they shouldn't be in your life. They
Mhm.
shouldn't.
And the sooner that we come to that realization that this is something that I may be stepping on some people's toes, but we have to get to the realization sometimes that the problem in our life is not other people, the problem is us. And when I came to that realization in my life, when I took a deep dive into working on me and my mental health and what I wanted to be actually using my gifts and monetizing my gifts, I noticed that the people started to really show me who they are. When you become happier, you
Mm.
really find out who cares about you. Mo-
Yes.
Most of the time the people will love you as long as you're angry and bitter and you
Yes.
don't have anything, but the moment you start doing great things and achieving monetary success or whatever, or just personal, like your aura is just beautiful now, you're seeing you have a positive attitude and you're not negative or complaining about your life, you're making things happen. People don't
Yeah.
like that. That's when they start, oh, you think you're better. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That
I am better, actually. Thank you.
people relish when you're failing, when you're unhappy, when you're not better than they are. They love that. And they're going to be the best people for you, the best toxic people for you. But once you start to improve on your outlook of you, right, by going, like you said, into a deep dive inside of you, once you start doing that, they don't like it, not because you're getting happier or you're getting, more successful. They don't like it because they know that the minute you come to that realization and the minute that you come and are more confident and more and better than them, you're going to drop them. You're not going to have a need for them, and you're not going to want them in your life because they are negative people that are very content being that way. So they know that they're going to lose whatever it is that they take advantage of you for.
Hmm.
So that's why they don't appreciate that, because you're going to outgrow them. And how dare you outgrow them?
Yeah, how dare you, because I had one person's like, you're all happy now. I was like, okay. I was like, I am. I'm very happy. And like they didn't like that. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, because that was a person that we would hang out, and all we did would do is complain about our life. Oh, I hate my job. I hate this person. I hate this relationship that I'm in. And then I was like one day, like, if I'm so unhappy in this relationship, why am I in it? Number two, if I hate my job, why do I still have it? I started to start processing my life and not just accepting them as that I had no choices. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about life, that there is always the freedom to make choices and that there's always
Yes.
hope. But we're the ones that have to believe that there is hope for ourselves. A lot of people give away their hopes, their choices, and their freedoms by listening to people who are unhealed, negative, or just evil in general.
Yeah, and you start seeing those that are around you that are unhealed, and that have never really, that have probably brought you down even more than you were before. because of their aura, their negativity, or whatever, their outlook in life. You could have been like further, more advanced in everything in life, but because you stuck with them, you're not getting any better. So when you start healing and you go around those ex friends, you start seeing how sick they are. And you wish you could say something or do something, but you know that they won't accept it in that moment.
Yeah, and that's hard.
Hmm.
That's really hard to accept and receive that people that you care about, or I can't say for everybody, but for me, it was hard for me to receive that the people that I love didn't love me back. But when
Hmm.
you come to that realization, you, number one, stop wasting your time. And number two, you stop giving away your heart to someone who will trample over it and not respect and reciprocate it.
It's true. I actually heard this the other day. I don't know if I'm gonna ruin the saying that I heard or not. I heard it on, I think it was a show or something, that this person tells um, this other person that they had like a moment, and they were like this I guess this like a couple kind of thing. It was so spectacular. They had this moment, and I wanted it to be. I saw that I could be happy with that person. I could like get happiness from loving them. And then this other person said, "No, that's not the way you're supposed to do it." It says, "You don't fall in love to be happy."
Say
You
what?
know, he said, "You don't fall in love to be happy," or something like that. He says, "You are when." He said like something like, "You don't fall in love to be happy. You fall in love because you're already happy." That's what he was trying to tell her. Like, don't expect that loving is going to make you happy. You have to be happy first.
Oh, I see.
To fall,
I
you know what I
see.
mean? He said, "You don't fall in love so that you can be happy." He says, "You have to be happy so that you can fall in love."
Right.
Or
You
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 fall in
have
love
to
because
in order, in other words, you have to first possess love to
ex, ex,
receive it. Yeah.
exactly, pretty much the same thing, but in different words. I don't remember the saying correctly, but kind of that was the message. You don't fall in love to be happy. You fall in love because you're already happy. And
Mhm.
that is the right way to see it, because a lot of times we continuously put up with people that are bringing us down, people that are using us, people that are um, taking advantage of us in different ways, because we don't have the self-love, we don't have the self-respect, we don't possess it yet. We haven't worked on ourselves enough to understand that what they're doing is abusing your love for them. But
Yeah.
because it's all you got, your love for them, not for you, is why you continuously allow them to hurt you and to use you and to take advantage of you.
Yeah. And you know what, Miss Nexie? When I went to therapy and my therapist taught me something that was a very new concept, when they said that you have to abandon everything that you think love is, because a lot of times what we think love is actually just this smoke screen, this facade. It's a fairy tale, something you've been seeing on TV. That's not the reality of what love is. Love is an action word. It's not
Hmm.
just a feeling. And a lot of people, they fall in love with the monetary part, like the
The
gifts, you know.
yeah, the feeling.
Yeah. And instead of, oh, I'm in love, I was like, okay. So then when the real life happens, like, does that mean that that person doesn't like you, love you anymore? No, it
Yeah.
just means that in real life things happen in situations. So I had to unlearn a lot of negative and bad things, like thinking that um, if somebody loved me, they were going to buy me flowers every single day or every week, but that's what you see in movies. Every time you go, you have to eat at the most expensive restaurants. You have to, but those are the things that we see in TV. And I'm not speaking for all women, but a lot of times women are conditioned into thinking this is how a relationship should look like, and they should do this. Like you have this list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
The little list.
yeah, that list. And I always say that the list keeps you single. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mean don't have standards, but I mean, but don't expect perfection when you aren't perfect.
Reality hits.
Unlike you, Miss Nexty, because I know you're the
Oh, no,
unicorn.
exactly. I was about to go there, Marlene, with one exception, but you said it. I'm glad you know it. No, but you know how a lot of couples, they get married and they throw this lavish party and oh, they're so in love, and the minute reality hits, they're getting, divorced, they're separating and everything, because it's like you said, they weren't in love with the person, and as a person, they were in love with everything that that person did as they were dating. But when you become husband and wife, I'm not saying you have to stop doing those nice things, but you're not going to do them with that frequency, because now you have bills, now you own a place, now you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
there's a lot more, than it was before. So, and a lot of times that it doesn't work because they have that list that keeps them single.
Yes.
But it
Yeah.
is true that you have to abandon everything when you go. And that was actually something that, my therapist said too. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to unlearn.
Yeah, I hated that when they would emphasize a word when you were in therapy. That was like to make sure that you got it.
Yeah, that, and again, and this is the same thing as, what am I to them? Is the same, question that when you ask, you know, how much do they love me? Do they really love me? Like, does he really love me?
Yeah.
Does he really care? That question is so scary. It's
Mhm.
such a scary question. But when you ask and you get the answer, even if it hurts you, because it may not be what you want to hear, but when you find out who you are in people's lives, you start weeding out, getting rid of all the weeds, and you just start bringing your garden of love, and with beautiful flowers, beautiful things, because not asking that question, you know, keeps your garden all full of things that you don't need. But asking it allows you to get rid of the things that are not beneficial for you. That doesn't mean I'm not going to ever talk to my aunt ever again, right? Or my cousin ever again, or my uncle ever again. It means that I'm going to try to keep them at a distance, talk to them only when needed, you know, at a party or something, but not be constantly in their presence when they're bringing me down and they're glooming my aura.
Yeah, but what I always said when some people are certain ways, like they bring just just a negative air, like they come in the room and they completely suck your energy away, you know. In a sort of way, like they're like a vampire. They're energy vampires. They take everybody's energy because of their negativity or their
Yeah, and you
complaints or
feel them
whatever.
as you start getting more clear on who you are, what you like and you dislike. You feel them a mile away. You dread their presence. You're like, oh, so and so is gonna be there. You know what I mean? They drain you. It's like they bring, the gray cloud right before it's gonna start pouring. That's exactly what they drag in. The
That's
gray
what
cloud.
that's what they do. Like, and it's always and everybody like in my whole family, they would do the little, with your fingers, the playing a little violin, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Here we go."
Yeah, my kids play that for me sometimes. Oh, wait, mom. Let me go get the world's smallest violin, so I could play it for you, little brat. No, but again, asking questions like this is what helps you heal, helps you know who you are, helps you know what role you play in their lives, how important or unimportant you are,
Mhm.
and then
A-
you move on.
and that was the point of this podcast, striking a balance in this life. Not saying that you can't do good things for people, not saying you can't support others, but you should never do anything to the point that you're not caring for yourself, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial health. You have to be okay first. I talk about that on my other channel, putting on your own oxygen mask. So make sure you're taking care of yourself and being honest with yourself and asking yourself the question, what am I to them? Great podcast, Miss Nexie.
Yes, Miss Marlene, thank you so much. It's been a delightful topic, delightful conversation. And, the more we talk about this uncomfortable topics, the better we are, the better we feel, the closer we get to a healing phase. And that's the reason I think why I like doing this with you. But thank you for having me, Miss Marlene.
Thank you so much, Miss Nexie. And also, thank you so much for the gifted memberships.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very
Yes.
welcome.
And we have to bring the panda out.
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay.
Before we go.
Hold, please. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie, and to everybody who is the in the background, those who came in the live stream, those who are on the replay. Ask yourself this question. It's a very important one. It's a good thing to do to evaluate who we are to other people, so we don't get taken advantage of. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie and chat.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming and to the Sip and Chat with us, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye, Miss Marlene.
Bye bye, Miss Nexie, and bye to all you loved ones.